Yeah, that's good. Hey everybody, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2022 Volvo S60 T8 Recharge R Design. Yeah, very long name, but anyways, a huge shout out and thank you to the Volvo here in downtown Salt Lake for giving me some time with this S60. Check out their inventory in the description down below. Let's get right into the video. So under the hood, we have a turbocharged / supercharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. It has 69 miles per gallon equivalent because, again, it is a hybrid. Now, total hybrid system output is 400 horsepower and 472 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the S60, which I actually really like. So first off, you guys can see you've got this prominent body line right here, and Volvo is one of the few manufacturers that makes their body lines pop even in white. Usually white kind of hides them a little bit. But anyways, going from that, you guys can see here with the Thor's hammer LED accent lights, and then you guys can see the LEDs super bright. I love the blacked out accent here off to the side. It does have a parking sensor integrated into it, and then more along the front. You can see the Volvo logo here in the center, and then notice how it's all blacked out around the Volvo logo, and overall it's just a really good looking car from a front end perspective. Coming on the side here, we've got two 35mm tires wrapped around 19-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see the design here on the wheels themselves. Looks really good. So you've got the silver here on the top, and then you've got the black accenting that they've kind of put a little bit in the background of the wheel. And so overall it looks really good from a design perspective. And then notice we've got the cap right here. I believe it's just a push. There you go. And then this is where you can charge it because this is a plug-in hybrid, and then just press that back in, magic touch, and then it'll close. It opened again. I don't know what I'm doing, folks. I'll close it in a second. Anyways, you guys can see here with the mirror, it's all blacked out, and then the window trim is also blacked out, and then here on the front. And aside from that, kind of cramped back here. So there's kind of like your side-ish view. So here's a key fob for the S60. You've got the Volvo logo here on the back. You've got the lock, the unlock, and then the opening here for the trunk. So just press that and then it'll actually fully open, which is really nice. And then you guys can see here with the storage space in the back. It's actually really solid. You've got that pass-through right there. And then if we push this aside, this is the charging cable if you're wondering what I'm pushing aside. You can see the kind of storage space underneath that whole section. But yes, they do give you a charging cable from the factory, which is definitely nice. And aside from that, you do have to lower this down yourself. But also notice that this does have the kick opening, so I'll see if I can get it to do it. I don't have the magic touch, guys. It's okay. That's all for that. Now finishing things up here in the rear, you notice we've got the Volvo logo there in the center, our S60 badge, really cool looking tail lights, and then you see the parking sensors integrated to the bottom, and then you guys can see the exhaust tips poking out quite a bit. So it's interesting, some new Volvos, they hide the exhaust tips. With this, they kind of make it more prominent because, again, this is a sportier type vehicle, and that's all for that. Now here's the door panel in the rear. So first off, you guys can see this really nice leather trim here on the side of the door panel, and then I love the door handle itself, the look and design. And then here are the seats in the rear. So you can see really nice white leather here. You can see kind of all down the center with the stitching. Looks really nice. And then you can see down here we've got heated seats and then a charging port. If you guys are wondering in terms of space, popping in here quickly. Great with legroom. Yes, tons of space back here, to be frank. And then also, notice this pulls down to be a cup holder / armrest. Very nice. Let's head to the front. Now here's the door panel at the front. Again, you guys can see here with all of the leather trim. We've got all of our window controls here with the mirror adjustments, memory seats, and then you can see another nice door handle. And then the mirrors, you can see that whole look right there. And then here are the front seats. So again, you can see really nice here with the leather, and the design I think looks great. And just look how much padding there is. Got your power adjustments there on the side, pedal layout just down below, and look at the wood trim here off to the side. But other than that, there's where we'll look before we pop in. Now here is the steering wheel with the S60. You've got really nice white leather here on the center. Then you can see the black leather on the outside. Controls here for the center stack voice command controls. Cruise control here on the other side. You've got your light / turn signal stock, windshield wiper stock, and that's all for the steering wheel. Now here is the center gauge cluster. It is a full digital readout, and then also you've got the navigation there in the center, which I think lends to this having a pretty cool aesthetic overall. But yeah, I mean, looks great. Functionality on it is great. And also notice how you've got with the gear selection, how it kind of makes it prominent when you go into the different gears. I think that's pretty cool. Now, speaking of going into gear, let's actually pop it into reverse so you guys can see the backup camera. It does have trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and then there is a zoom function on that, which is definitely nice. And I like how you can turn off the parking sensors here when you are in reverse. And if you go from reverse to drive, notice it just keeps with the backup camera. Putting it in park, it will take a second for the camera to go away, but you guys will notice here, you've got dual zone here for the front, and then we also have the seat controls. We have heated seats, heated steering wheel, no air-conditioned seats or anything like that. With the rest of the infotainment system, what you guys will notice first is you've got screens you can scroll to the side, if that makes sense. Response time with the screen is actually really good. And then you have this whole section right here, which has a bunch of different things. The most important thing, headrest fold, no, just kidding, is actually the drive modes. So you've got a few different drive modes you can go in between. You've got your constant all-wheel drive, you have your Polestar engineered, which is like your sport mode, and then your hybrid, which is your everyday use, like it says right there. But yeah, that's on the second tab. So you've got the center screen, and then you have the tab off to the side where you go with that. And sorry about the glare. We've got some analog controls here for the infotainment system and some stuff for the climate as well. We have the shifter for the 8-speed automatic, and it's pretty simple. So that's neutral, and then you pull it again for drive, and then neutral, and then up again for reverse. So it's a little bit of a process. Your engine stop start, we've got some cup holders, which you can cover with that piece of trim. Parking brake, and then that's your auto hold. And then you guys can see here with the center console, got some decent little storage space with this little thing. And then notice you've got a bunch of charging ports, which is definitely nice. And I like the trim on top of it. And then notice more wood trim here. And then you can see the glove box, decent with the storage space. And then finishing things up top, we do have a sunroof. It's not a panoramic, but it's like a larger sunroof, and it does have an automatic shade, which, if you guys are wondering, it's just controlled via that button. So here's our window sticker for this S60. You guys can see the standard equipment, so like the performance, for example. And then you guys can see everything else with it. Definitely nice. And then you can see there's a couple options, but notice the base price, $47,650. And there's a few options out of this particular one. Total MSRP, $54,360. That is so much less expensive than I expected it to be, especially considering the performance. Let's take it out and drive it. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. There's your visibility of the hood, both of the mirrors throughout the rest of the rear, and let's set off. So we are getting up and moving here with the S60, and first off, I got it in hybrid mode, and let me tell you, this is a nice luxury experience just driving through the parking lot, because you know it's using EV power, right? And I've got enough range for us to be able to go some places here with the fully electric. But yeah, it's just so smooth and quiet and comfortable. I really like the experience you get with Volvos with their hybrids. And obviously you've got the XC40 Recharge, which is fully electric, but the hybrids, it's just so nice because you don't have to deal with like range anxiety that's associated with a fully electric vehicle, but you still get this really cool luxury experience because listen, it's just so quiet, and just, you just kind of like, what's the term the car journalists always use? Waft. You just waft down the road. It really is, it's a great experience. I would say that, you know, for a luxury car, this is kind of what I would look for, is just, I don't want like this big, loud, monstrous engine. I want something that's quiet and comfortable. And then the other benefit, right, is the fuel economy. This is gonna get great fuel economy. I mean, just the, if you take away the hybrid part of it, this still would average like 30 miles per gallon. So you're gonna be able to get, with the hybrid power component, I mean, you're gonna be able to get crazy good gas mileage. So that's another big positive with this whole setup. And yeah, it's great. The seats are super comfortable, by the way. Really nice padding here on the seats. And these would be great for long road trips. And I can definitely attest to that because I drove a couple new Volvos in California last year. And I drove them, for both of them, for well over an hour. And again, they were very comfortable with the seat and the feel and everything. It was a really very nice experience. And so, yeah, I think that they've just nailed it from a luxury and comfort perspective with this. And yeah, everything like you touch, like it's nicely padded. I mean, for $54,000, they did a really good job. Oh, I have it in the Polestar engineered drive mode, and apparently this thing should be pretty quick given the power figures and the size. Yeah, that's good. That's solid. See what it's like in this. So the B is kind of like your manual mode. Smooth, super smooth with the gear shifts. It's weird. So most manual shift functions will be like up and down. This is side to side. It's definitely unique with the feel being side to side instead of up and down. I will say that. But very smooth with the transitions. Interesting, really interesting. So I guess we'll get in kind of summing things up, and we'll get another acceleration here at the light. So first off, exterior wise, I think it's a really good looking car on the outside. I think that Volvo with their sedans, I think the styling works really well. Interior wise, again, considering the price point, like the wood trim's really nice, the seats are nice, steering wheel is nice. A lot of your touch points are very nice material wise. So I think that they've done a good job with that as well from a material perspective. So that is all solid. And then driving wise, this is quick. Definitely gives you a little bit of a rush. We're gonna pop it back into automatic mode. It's quick. It's definitely quick from an acceleration perspective, and it comes on in pretty interesting fashion because you first get that instant push from the electric part of it, and then you get into the supercharger, and then you get into the turbocharger, and you can kind of hear all of it come on, and it's just so unique. And the power delivery is super unique, and it's great. And I'm surprised that at this price point, right? I thought this would be more expensive, like I said, when I did the whole walk around. So I mean, yeah, if you're looking for a really nice luxury sedan that's actually affordable, right? And has great performance, this new S60 is actually very solid. This is one of the big surprises for me, actually. So good job, Volvo. Now let's get some things up for our video on this 2022 Volvo S60 Recharge T8 R Design. I think I got that correct. Anyways, a huge shout out and thank you to the Volvo here in downtown Salt Lake for giving me some time with this S60. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I will see all of you in the next video.